Hey everyone, and welcome to our warehouse management video training, session number 5, Resolv Mobile Add-on Configuration. Now this video will be a little bit different from the previous configuration video, as this one will mostly touch on general Resolv mobile configurations, such as printers and reports and things like that, and not actual WMS process configurations relating to the specific functionalities like picking and receiving. So because of that, this will be a shorter than normal video, but it's still a very important one to get Resolv Mobile up and running if you have WMS or any of our other mobile modules. The first screen is the mobile configuration screen. This screen has two different fields on it. The first one is the server IP address field, where you will enter in the IP address for your actual HANA Linux server, not your Windows Server machines that you might be using to connect to SAP. Your actual HANA SUSE Linux server IP address would go into here. And the second field here is the service layer port, which for most people you'll be able to leave that blank because most people install the service layer on the default port. If you do decide to install it on a different port, then you would need to add that port number information in here. So obviously this stuff's kind of technical. If you do need any help with it, you can contact your SAP partner. They should have that information. And then if you or the partner have any questions and need additional help, then you can always reach out to us here at Achieve It, and we'll be glad to help you walk through this configuration here. But once you get this set, you should be able to now log into the mobile URL for Resolv WMS. So that's why we have to have this set up first. We need to know where your service layer and HANA server is located so that WMS can connect to it. The next screen is the mobile user license screen. As we saw in the previous video, if you've watched it, the Resolv mobile user licenses, what you need to actually log in to Resolv Mobile, are tied to the standard SAP employee master records and user records. So when you open up this mobile user license screen, you'll get a list of all the employee master data records and then a list of all your licensed Resolv mobile modules. So you can see besides WMS, we've got QC mobile, freight management mobile, equipment rental mobile, and container management mobile. So if you have mobile licenses for each of these modules, you'll see them listed here. At the bottom, you'll see how many licenses you have for each module and how many have been actually licensed. So 21 of 9,999. So we've got 21 people licensed on container management, 18 on WMS, and we have a lot left to fill in. So right now I'm not in danger of running out of licenses. If I did only have 18 licenses, let's say, and all 18 were assigned, you could always purchase more licenses by contacting us here at Achieve It. Or if you had like a user who wasn't using the license anymore and you forgot to take it away, you could obviously remove that license and give it to someone else if someone's not using WMS anymore. So this is kind of the screen here where you would then assign all those employees their Resolv mobile licenses, and again, keep an eye on how many you have left available. If you're running low, you may need to purchase more. You also have a quick little golden arrow link here that can take you to the SAP Employee Master Data Record for this user. So again, if you need to update any of the Resolv functionalities like we saw in the previous video, if you need to update their password, that can all be done just right here through the Resolv Mobile user license screen. The next screen is our mobile scheduler setup screen. If you have seen any of our other modules, a lot of our modules use what we call a scheduler to run automated tasks. So you're not things that don't have to do manually. You can have set up to do automated once a day or every 5 minutes or whatever you want to do. We allow you to set up some of these modules to do things automated. Now within WMS, the only scheduler we really utilize is for printing. So if you're going to be doing printing from the mobile, printing labels, printing reports, any sort of thing like that, you're going to want to set up the scheduler so that it knows as your print queue builds up, how often are you going to be printing. Now, as you can see in my example here, I have it set up to be recurring daily every 3 seconds from basically 2 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. So, we're really just going to have this set to run every couple seconds because, when you're mobile printing, you want to print things immediately. So it's not really something you want to sit around and wait for. Again, something every 2, 3, 4 seconds usually is how you do it. The next screen is our mobile printer maintenance screen. This is where you're going to set up all your printers. Now, obviously, you have printers set up already on your machines or on your servers, but you have to define them also within Resolv WMS so that we know the printer name inside SAP and what printer that actually points to in your warehouse. So it's pretty simple. You give it a printer name and a description. You assign a warehouse to it so that if you have multiple printers per warehouse or multiple warehouses and you have different printers for each one, you're able to set up that distinction. You're going to choose between a label and a report printer. Here's where you actually define the Windows printer that it goes with. If your Windows printers are set up on the server that you're setting this information up on, you probably don't need to put in the server name. You can just hit the print queue drop down and it'll show you all the printers installed. If your printers are installed on a different Windows server, then you could type in the print server name in this field, and then the drop down would then reach out to that server and find all the printers installed on that one. So again, this is kind of technical. You may need to reach out to your IT department or your SAP partner, and again, always can reach out to us here at Achieve It Support. We can assist you with these sorts of things. The last checkbox here is setting that this is the default printer for this warehouse and printer type. So if I'm going to say West Coast label, I set this as default. This would be the default printer for that combination. If I said, let's say this is the Brooklyn warehouse and it's the report printer, and I check default, then I'm saying now that that's the default report printer for Brooklyn. So you have this level of detail to choose, warehouse and printer type, set a default for it, and as you see in a second, we'll actually be able to also set a default printer per report type itself. So if you want to print license plate labels to one printer and item labels to another printer, you have that opportunity to set up in the report maintenance screen. We also saw in our previous video, you can set a printer default per user. So again, we have different levels of defaults, starting with the most granular being the user, then going up to the report, then going up here to the warehouse and printer type. So lots of different options for setting up default printers. And our last configuration screen here is the mobile report maintenance screen. So this screen allows you to, again, per warehouse, define your different crystal report types. So for instance, we've got item label, license plate label, license plate detail, package label, and package slip. So we've got all the different options here. We have standard reports available on our FTP site, which then you or whoever does your crystal report work can update or edit to see fit for what's your functionality in your warehouse. You can also, again, as we just mentioned, define a default printer for this warehouse and report type. So once you define all these report paths and give it a default printer, you'd be ready to start printing. So that's all of the actual configuration screens. There are 3 actual functional screens within Resolv Mobile that I wanted to just show you quick as a little bonus in this video. One of them is this mobile user inquiry screen. It basically shows you all of the users currently logged on to Resolv Mobile. So as you can see, these 2 users have been logged on for quite some time, but it tells you the user, when they accessed, what the handheld device was, on what platform it was, and what version of Resolv it is, and also what function they're in, and if they're in a document, what document number they're working on. So this just gives you a quick snapshot of everybody logged into the system. It also allows you down here, as you can see, delete line. If I wanted to get rid of somebody, then I can just delete line, and now that session's freed up. And the section functional screen is a very, very, very helpful screen, and it's called our mobile activity log. And what this allows you to do is see all of the activity happening on your mobile devices. And you can filter by all these different event types like pick list, ITR. You can see container receiving, bin counts. I can look by user ID, by warehouse. I can filter by bin code, by item code. I can filter by device type, by document number, and activity types like delete or finish or log in. And then I can also do a date range and a quantity range if I was going to try to find something that happens with a specific quantity of item. So for instance, I put in for November 1st and November 30th, and I hit load grid. And you can see now all the different information about what happened in Resolv Mobile. The event type, the bins, the warehouses, the user, the document number, and I've got gold arrows to drill in to open up those document numbers or items or things like that. So it's just a real handy tool if you ever need to do research into some sort of possible issue, or if you really just want to see what certain users are doing or what kind of activity happened yesterday in the warehouse. This can give you a snapshot of that information. So it's a really helpful screen and tool to use in Resolv Mobile. And the last functional screen is our mobile print queue screen. Pretty straightforward. It's just all the documents pending printing for our mobile devices. It'll give you like the printer name and how many they're printing, the report path. And this also helps you if someone's telling you, I'm printing all these labels and nothing's coming out. You would see a printer error here, most likely, and it would let you know what the problem is, whether it couldn't reach the report or some sort of printer error. So that'll help you troubleshoot when things are not printing. But you can also get a look at, obviously, things that are about to print. But once it does print, if I hit refresh, you can see now it's gone. So that one did print here at my office. But if it hadn't, I would get some sort of print error. So this is just a good screen to use for troubleshooting printing issues. So that wraps up the Resolv Mobile add-on configurations video. I know this session was slightly shorter than usual and a bit more technical than usual, but it is an important piece to getting Resolv Mobile WMS up and running. So if you need additional help or resources, you can always check out the Resolv Mobile Configuration User Guide or reach out to our support team here at Achieve It, and we will help you get everything sorted out. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.